What's going on, baseball fans? How you doing tonight? We're talking the NL West for 2021. Let's get to it. And what's going on, baseball fans? Hello. 19 people to start off the chat. What's going on? Happy Friday, everyone. It is the weekend. I'm quite excited for the weekend. I cannot lie about that. Alrighty, a lot of familiar faces. Nicholas, what's going on? Southsider, hello. Mets Nation, Michael Yanch. Hello. Brad Roblox, Eric Roberts, Daniel Wells, what's going on? Boston Ted Sox was here. Alrighty, Orioles, what's going on? Hello, welcome. It's a Friday night. I'm not expecting a ton of people to be here tonight, but that's okay. We will be talking about the National League West. This is our last division preview for the upcoming season. We have previewed every single division, so if you have yet to see the other previews, we've talked about every team in the American League now. We've talked about the NL East. Actually, me and Jolly Olive talked about the National League East, and then I talked about the National League Central the other night as well. So if you have not seen any of those division previews, definitely go check them out. But tonight we will be talking about the National League West, my last division preview for the 2021 season. Before I get started, if you are new, hit that subscribe button. We just recently hit 6K subscribers. That was an awesome milestone. Let's try and get to 7K. Hit that like button, everyone. That really helps us get out to more baseball fans. Go follow me on Twitter if you want to talk some baseball throughout the day. So we are very close now. Man, oh man. It is quite a long off season, a slow off season at times, and now, spring training. Hey, we're getting closer and closer. Next Thursday, I believe. Is it next Thursday? If I got that right. Yes, next Thursday. That is crazy. It's always one of my favorite times of the year, opening day. One of my favorite days of the year, personally. So, but yeah, let's just get right to it. Hopefully, my voice this week. If you don't know, I'm a teacher, and sometimes my voice does not like to cooperate sometimes, and my voice is feeling a little raspy tonight. I'm not going to lie. Michael Yanch, $5 super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. Welcome to the best division in the National League, and the Padres will win this division. Hey, you know what? I think if there's one team that could unseat the Dodgers in this division, I mean, obviously it's the Padres, but I definitely think they have a good shot at this division. We'll talk more about it. By the way, these are not my predictions by any means. These are strictly previews. Be on the lookout. I'm hoping Monday night or Tuesday night. I'm thinking Monday, but just in case if things don't quite work out schedule-wise, I will, by the latest Tuesday, be going live with my predictions for the 2021 season. I'm going to be spending this whole weekend going over, finishing up my predictions. I'm pretty much all done. Just got to kind of sleep on a couple of things. But Michael, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Alrighty, let's just go ahead. Let's get started. Let's get this music off. There we go. Alrighty, I'm going to start off hot. I'm going to start off with the defending World Series champion, Los Angeles Dodgers. We're going to start off a little hot here tonight. And you know what? There is a lot to like about this Los Angeles Dodgers team. I mean, there's almost, I mean, you don't want to say this because it is strictly just paper at the moment. When you're looking at teams at this point in time, you don't know what's going to happen over the course of a season. You don't know, anything can happen. Anyone can go down at any particular time. But man, the way this team is constructed, it is a scary team, and I think it could be a historic team the way it's built. Let's go take a look at the Dodgers. So here we go. Looking at the Dodgers here, let's go take a look at the PECOTA projections as well. So as of right now, for 2021, the Fangraphs, hold on, let's look at PECOTA real quick. So if I go down, where is the National League West? I think they have the American League up top. Alrighty, so the National League, PECOTA has the Dodgers at 103-59, 78% chance to win the division. They have the Padres at 96-66, Diamondbacks coming in third, Giants in fourth, Rockies in fifth. I'm actually, in my opinion, as of right now, I mean, these are not my predictions, but as of right now, I feel like I am kind of leaning the exact way this division, or at least the way PECOTA has these teams finishing. I don't know about record-wise, but I kind of feel like the order, I like this order, and we'll get to these other teams here too. This Dodgers team, man, it's a scary team. And if we go take a look at the National League West, Fangraphs, they agree with the Dodgers winning the NL West this year. The Padres coming in second. They have the Giants coming in third instead of the Diamondbacks, and they have the Diamondbacks in fourth, and then the Rockies coming in dead last. So let's take a look at this Dodgers team. There is just so much to like about this Dodgers team. I mean, we might as well just start off with the big acquisition, which was Trevor Bauer, one of the biggest offseason signings this past offseason. He slots in right at number 2 behind Clayton Kershaw. But then you just have starting pitchers all over the place. The depth of this team, starting pitching-wise, is absolutely insane. Clayton Kershaw, Trevor Bauer, Walker Buehler, Julio Urias. You got David Price coming back this year. You got Tony Gonsolin. You got Dustin May. I mean, it's a little ridiculous if you ask me. There's so much talent. You got 7 guys here that can start games and give you an easy chance to win a game. You got veterans in here. You got young arms in here. And, Clayton Kershaw, he's had his injuries in the past. He deals with, lower back stuff here and there. But then it's like, and then you got a guy in Trevor Bauer who is so durable. And then even someone like Walker Buehler, yes, he's on the younger side, but he's been experiencing, some blister issues. If he goes down and misses a couple of starts here and there, you just got guys all over the place. David Price coming in fresh this season. He basically had an entire season off. And right now they have him slotted in at number 5. He was just talking the other day saying, hey, if this team needs to use me as a starter, if they need to use me out of the bullpen, I am for whatever this team needs. I feel like personally, the way this rotation looks right here, I'm okay with this. I think Dustin May, Tony Gonsolin. I feel like Tony Gonsolin, he is like he's like a perfect swingman, if you ask me, a guy that can start a game here and there. He can come out of the bullpen. And then Dustin May, if you have Dustin May coming out of the bullpen, I think long-term Dustin May, he's a starter. I mean, but if you got a guy like him coming out of the bullpen with that an electric arm like that, I mean, it's just nasty. And transitioning over to the bullpen now, this bullpen is nasty. I mean, like I said, you already have Dustin May. He's slotted in for middle relief. That's a nasty arm for the bullpen, man. Then Tony Gonsolin is a swing guy. You just brought in a guy like Jimmy Nelson. Corey Knebel you brought in. He had a really good year a couple of years ago, coming back from injury. Blake Treinen, bring him back. He basically became the closer last year for the Dodgers during the World Series after Kenley Jansen blew the save. So who knows? That's the only area right now of this bullpen I'm a little unsure about is Kenley Jansen going to hold on to that closer role? I could see a guy like Blake Treinen taking over that role. I don't know. I just wonder. It's going to be interesting because Blake Treinen took that role last year in the World Series and he got a save in the World Series. So, I mean, this bullpen is really good. And then also Brusdar Graterol as well. As of right now, it's saying he has an injury. But I mean, this bullpen already looks pretty good even without him. And then you got a guy like him, and then even Joe Kelly as well. I mean, there's just so much. There's so much in this bullpen. Moving on to the offense. I mean, again, this team doesn't stop. The starting pitching is good. The bullpen is good. Mookie Betts, MVP candidate, if you ask me. an easy MVP candidate. A guy like Corey Seager had a really good year last year. Justin Turner coming back. Cody Bellinger, a down season last year, but Cody Bellinger, shoulders looking pretty good. Hit his first home run of spring training the other day. Cody Bellinger's Cody Bellinger, MVP a couple years ago. Will Smith only getting better as time goes on. You got a Max Muncy and A.J. Pollock. Gavin Lux is going to be an interesting one to keep an eye on this year. Gavin Lux looking like he's going to finally become a full-time starter at second. This is what else is there to say? And then even like the bench, you got Austin Barnes on the bench, Matt Beatty, Edwin Rios, who I think is a pretty underrated player. That guy, I think, has a ton of potential. And then, like a Chris Taylor, there's just so much to like. And then if you go to the Dodgers farm system, let's go take a look at the top prospects. But then they got guys in the minor leagues that could maybe help out. You got a Kyber Ruiz who could come help out. A Josiah Gray. There's just depth all over the place. This team, it's not just talented, it's deep as well. And I don't know what else to say, honestly. Like, if there is a team ever since the Yankees going back to the year 2000, if there is any team that has a good of a chance of repeating, it's this team. This team has a repeat champion all over them. Again, you don't want to. You don't win. You don't win on paper. You got to win on the field. But man, it's this team is just looking. It's looking nasty. And it's not just because of the talent. It's also just because of their depth too. That I'm almost more impressed with the depth than the talent they have. So I don't know. Everyone, I gotta ask. What are you guys thinking here? Dodgers, where are you thinking in this division? Do you think the Dodgers are finishing first, second, third? What do you think? I would imagine at least a second place finish. I know there's some Padres fans in here that might be thinking, you know what? Hey, Padres are winning this division, but what do you think with the Dodgers? What are you thinking? Michael Yanks with another $5 super chat. That should be popping up here in a second. Dodgers are getting knocked out of the wild card game. Michael Yanks is going bold. Man, oh man, Michael Yanks is a believer in his Padres. That's what I'm talking about. Nicholas, thank you very much, my friend. Paul has the Dodgers repeating. Brad Roblox with a second place finish. Yeah, Chester, Dodgers can probably break the all-time record. And there's the super chat, Michael Yanks. He is saying the Dodgers are going to get knocked out of the wild card game. That would be crazy, man. That would be absolutely crazy. So yeah, Chester again. Dodgers. This team could be historic. It's again talented and deep as well. Alex S., you are right. Hey, could they end up being like kind of like it's funny because if this team ends up being like the 2019 Yankees, they still have guys, still have guys. So, Chris Rodriguez, what's going on? Dodgers going for a repeat, but it'll be a good matchup with the Pods. If those two teams run into each other in the playoffs, in the division round or in the championship series, man, that's gonna be that's gonna be nuts, man. So, alrighty, moving on here. The Dodgers, as we all know, they look really good. So here we go. We're going to move on to while the Padres, my goodness, these emails keep popping up. While the Padres are looking like the Dodgers' biggest rival up to this point, historically, the Dodgers' biggest rival, the San Francisco Giants, this team is not bad. It's not a bad team. Hum Baby Baseball, if you're out there, this one's for you, my friend, the San Francisco Giants. So the Dodgers' arch rival, San Francisco Giants, I think they have a pretty decent team on paper. Are they going to have enough, though, to be able to make a run, especially with teams like the Padres and the Dodgers in front of them? Let's go take a look here at the Giants. So taking a look here. So as of right now, like I said earlier, Pacoda, they have the Giants finishing in fourth, while Fangraphs has them finishing in third. So both Pacoda and Fangraphs have them finishing with a losing record. I feel like this team has a chance at maybe going over 500. I don't think it's a bad team by any means. I don't know if they really have a lot. I mean, the lineup is okay. You got some guys in here. I love Mike Yastrzemski, a late bloomer in his career, but Mike Yastrzemski has proven to be a really solid player. Donovan Solano had a really good year last year. Tommy LaStella that they brought in. Alex Dickerson, look out for him. He could be pretty good. You got Buster Posey coming back. Evan Longoria. I mean, are they the same kind of, players that they were before? No, but, hey, good proven veterans. Brennan Crawford. I mean, that's another solid player. And then you got a guy like Austin Slater right now slated, no pun intended right there. He's on the bench, but I think Austin Slater has breakout potential all over him. And you got Brandon Belt there too. There's a lot to I don't want to say there's a lot to like about the Giants lineup, but I think there are some respectable pieces in this lineup. It's not a bad lineup by any means. Is it going to be, better than a Padres lineup or a Dodgers lineup? Nah, I would say no, but, there are some decent pieces here. If you look at the starting rotation, bringing back Kevin Gausman, he had himself a really good year last year. Taking a look at Kevin Gausman, if we take a look here, had the 12 games, 10 starts. I mean, almost 12 strikeouts per 9, under 3 walks per 9, a little over 1 home run per 9, a 3.62 ERA, 3.09 FIP. Kevin Gausman, hey, bringing him back on the qualifying offer. Johnny Cueto, I don't know. Johnny Cueto to me is just such a, I don't know. I think Johnny Cueto, I think the Giants are really hoping that he's going to have himself a good first half, and then maybe he could be like a trade deadline kind of a guy. It's a decent salary you're going to have to part with, but maybe he could help a team out down the stretch. He's not getting any younger. I don't know, but I could also see him staying with the Giants too. You brought in Anthony Desclafani. Logan Webb, I'm a Logan Webb fan. I think Logan Webb could end up being a really decent pitcher in this league. Brought in Aaron Sanchez, too. He was looking really good in the offseason, hitting high 90s. This rotation is actually looking not bad, if you ask me. You got some decent projected numbers. As for the bullpen, for the most part, yeah, the bullpen, it's okay. I mean, you got Jake McGee. He's projected for some decent numbers. Reyes Maranta, decent numbers. Tyler Rogers projected for some decent numbers. I mean, you got some other guys here in middle relief. I don't know. They also brought in Alex Wood, too. So he's getting an ablation procedure. What the heck is that? Anyway, Tyler Beatty, he's going to be getting Tommy John, or he had Tommy John. So will he be back this year at some point? I don't know. This Giants team, I don't know about this Giants team, really. There's some decent pieces on this team, but it's not going to be enough, I think. I just don't think it's going to be enough for, to overcome such a talented and deep Padres and Dodgers team. If we take a look at some Giants prospects, maybe to keep an eye out for this year, taking a look at the Giants. One guy, Joey Bart, too. Joey Bart, keep an eye out for Joey Bart. This is a guy where his name was popping up a lot before the start of last season. So Buster Posey is coming back this year. Buster Posey will be the starting catcher. But don't be surprised if you start seeing Joey Bart, especially if this Giants team starts to fade. But, you got Heliot Ramos there, too. Not a lot of prospects that seem to be ready as of right now. You got a couple of guys here, but, Joey Bart is a name to keep an eye out for. Probably, I can see him getting some at-bats. Definitely some more minor league at-bats, too. So, but this Giants team, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like there's really a lot here. I think they have pieces, to be a competitive, tough team to face. But, they got some decent starting pitchers, some decent options in the bullpen. I don't know. I just don't see this team being any better than a third-place team. But let me know what you guys think in the chat. This Giants team, I think they're okay. But let me know, where do you think these guys are going to finish? Third, second? Could they completely shock the world and win this division? Do you think they could just end up being terrible and finish last? Let me know. Where do you think? Brad Roblox, he has a third-place finish for the Giants. John, what's going on, my friend? How you doing? Hello. Welcome back. Yogi Dude, what is going on? Hello. Poor Rockies. At least they have Trevor Story, possibly the best shortstop in baseball. I do like me some Trevor Story. Boston Ted Sox, he's thinking a third-place finish for this Giants team. Jacob Law with a fourth-place finish. John's going last place. Michael Yench, third place with 79 wins. Kind of around the Fangraphs and Pacoda projections. Alrighty. So yeah, I'm thinking, I don't know. Again, I'm not quite sure where I see this Giants team finishing. I don't think they're going to be a second place team. Who knows? They could shock the world. Rocky Adams thinking a fourth place finish. And Rocky Adams, you just said, I think the Diamondbacks are sleepers. And I got to kind of agree with you a little bit on this Diamondbacks team. I actually kind of like this Diamondbacks team. There's a lot to like about this Diamondbacks team. And I actually thought this was going to be a really good team last year. So it's funny kind of coming back 1 year later. And I think this Diamondbacks team, no one is really talking about them. I think they could end up being a team where they could kind of surprise some people a little bit. And I think you could see them in the hunt for a wild card spot. It's going to be really tough because there's some really good teams in this National League. But let's go take a look at this Diamondbacks team. I actually like this Diamondbacks team a lot. The only problem is, are they just going to have enough? That's the only problem here. So let's take a look here. Taking a look at the Diamondbacks, I like this lineup. There's some decent pieces here. Ketel Marte absolutely exploded a couple of years ago. Had an awesome year in 2019. Didn't really make much happen last year, but Ketel Marte I still think could be a really good player in this game. David Peralta, if he stays healthy, is a pretty solid player. Eduardo Escobar, I think, could be pretty decent. Christian Walker, very good defensively, has some power. Josh Rojas. You got some guys here. Nick Ahmed, a really good glove. And then, you brought in Asdrubal Cabrera as well, a pretty decent veteran that can move around. I like the lineup. I think there's actually some decent pieces in this lineup. The only problem now, unfortunately for the starting pitching, is Zach Gallen. Just the other day reported with a hairline stress fracture in his forearm. Can we please just get rid of pitchers hitting? Please. This guy, he didn't get hit by a pitch, but I guess there was like a check swing or something like that. And he got like a very tiny fracture in his forearm. This is what I'm saying. Stop having pitchers hit. It's have them pitch. I don't like Zach Gallen. To me, I was so excited to see what Zach Gallen could do this year. I was thinking, this guy could have dark horse Cy Young potential. He had a really good year last year, and now he has a hairline fracture in his forearm. Like, seriously, stop having pitchers hit. Have pitchers pitch. I don't know what else to say about that. And now you have a good young pitcher in Zach Gallen who's going to be out for a little while. So, I don't know. But anyway, as for the starting pitching, Madison Bumgarner had a terrible first year with the Diamondbacks last year. He was awful. He came in on a pretty decent contract, had the 34 starts with the Giants in 2019, had some okay numbers, but overall last year, he really fell off. The strikeouts were down, the walks were up, the home runs were up, FIP was terrible, ERA was terrible. Madison Bumgarner was not good last year. So, we got a super chat coming in. From Michael Yench, the reason why we sleep on the D-backs and the Rockies is because they both play in hitter-friendly ballparks. Yes, so that's why these teams, they end up kind of, you kind of look, you're a couple months into the season and you see them, they kind of hang around in that division. You're like, oh, well, wow, hey, look at these teams. They're doing pretty good. This Diamondbacks team, I think this team could end up being decent. But Madison Bumgarner is going to be a huge key. I am going to believe that he's going to get back on track this season. Luke Weaver, this is another guy that needs to get back on track. Here we go. Taking a look at Luke Weaver. Let's see here. So he had the 12 starts. If you go back to 2019, he had 12 starts. He had the 2.94 ERA that year. But then last year, something is like... sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. Last year, 12 starts... ERA was up. The FIP was better. The strikeouts are around the same. He was walking more guys. He was giving up more home runs. So that says to me he was kind of struggling with his command a little bit. But Luke Weaver, if you can get Madison Bumgarner and Luke Weaver back on track, I think this Diamondbacks pitching staff can end up being pretty good. And you got Caleb Smith there, Merrill Kelly. They're definitely they need another starting pitcher, and that's why Zach Gallen. That's tough. That's tough losing him. He was projected for some pretty decent numbers. If we go take a look at Zach Gallen, this is a guy, man. I had him on my fantasy team last year, and he was great. And to me, one of the best young arms in the game. He was really good in 2020. He had 12 starts, 2.75 ERA. FIP was really good at 3.66. Over 10 strikeouts per 9. 3 walks per 9. Kept the home runs down. He was projected for a good season this year, according to Zips. ERA below a 4, FIP below a 4, good strikeout numbers, good walk numbers. So the sooner he gets back for this Diamondbacks team, the better they're going to be. As for the bullpen, you did bring in a Tyler Clippard. I thought that was a pretty decent move. But you brought in a Joakim Soria too. So he was okay last year. I mean, you got some decent arms here. You got Kevin Ginkel. Can he get himself back on track? You still got a guy like a Yohan Lopez, Stephen Crichton. So there's some decent arms here, and I think, this Diamondbacks team can end up being okay. I like some of the pieces that this Diamondbacks team has. And then if you go to the farm system too, and then they got Dalton Varsho as well. That's a pretty athletic guy where he can play some outfield. He can play some catcher too. And then you got a guy like a Geraldo Perdomo. Maybe we could see him a little bit this year. You got a Corbin Martin there. Can he help out with the starting pitching this year? Or even come out of the bullpen possibly? So they got some guys that could help. They're going to need all hands on deck if they want to. I think this team could go for a wild card. I don't know. It's gonna be tough though, especially when you have the Padres right there. Especially when you have the Mets and the Braves going at it over in the National League East. I think this Diamondbacks team. I think you could see them hanging around the wild card picture a little bit, but is it going to be enough? I'm not quite sure. Let me know what you think in the chat. Where do you think the Diamondbacks are going to finish this year in the division? Let me know. Let's see. Yeah, Yogi dude, I love Zach Gallen. I think Zach Gallen's going to be a really good arm for the unseeable future. So Jacob Law with a 4th place finish, John Hummel with a 2nd place finish, Nicholas thinking 3rd. Alec, what's going on, my friend? Boston, what's going on? Going with a 4th place finish there. Alec with a 3rd place finish. Rocky Adams, a 500 record. I could see this team being like 80 to 85 wins. I could see that. Maybe could they approach 90? We'll have to wait and see. So, alrighty. But Jesse Burns, he's thinking 3rd. He does not believe in the San Francisco Giants this year. That's okay. Odd Villain, hey, maybe a rebuild. Maybe the Diamondbacks end up just being terrible and they just start shipping guys off. So, Alex, you were thinking a 3rd place finish. I could see this team in August being 500 but then fall apart. Yeah, there's not a lot of depth. That is one thing I agree with you. There's not too much depth. Yeah, Chester, I agree. You could go either way with the Diamondbacks and the Giants. So, alrighty. Moving on here. We got a couple of teams left here for the National League West. I see 38 people in the chat right now. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Here we go. This was a team that got a lot of hate this offseason. A lot of hate. Man, oh man. Oh, I see Michael Yench with a $5 super chat. Another $5 super chat. The Diamondbacks will get destroyed on Thursday. Oh man, he's ready for opening day. Michael Yench is ready for opening day. But let's talk about the Colorado Rockies. This team got a lot of flack this offseason for trading Nolan Arenado. I have been on the record to say I thought the Rockies did the right thing trading Nolan Arenado. I didn't think they were really getting anywhere with him. I thought the big mistake was signing him to an extension in the first place. That was my big thing. I don't think they should have ever signed him to an extension. I thought that was the silly move. I don't think getting rid of him was the bad move. They weren't doing anything with Nolan Arenado. This team wasn't going to go anywhere. You might as well get rid of him. Yeah, they had to send $50 million. If you want to me, the trade itself, the Rockies. Business-wise, so here's the difference here. The Nolan Arenado trade with the Rockies, baseball-wise, yeah, horrible move. I mean, terrible. I mean, yeah, of course, you're trading one of the best players in the game, in my opinion, easily one of the best third basemen in the game. But business-wise, not baseball, business, it was the right thing to do. It was not the right thing to do to sign him to an extension. I'm going to say that. I'm on the record saying that. I think the Rockies did the right thing getting rid of him. They had to kind of make up for their mistake of signing him to that extension in the first place. But that's just my take on it. So, either way, we are moving on to a new era in Colorado Rockies baseball, and it's not looking very bright. I think there's still some things to kind of, be somewhat excited for maybe with this team. Let's take a look at the Colorado Rockies. So here we go. Looking at the Rockies, so Pacoda, they have them finishing dead last. Fangraphs, dead last. Fangraphs is a little more generous with the wins, giving them 7 more wins. But the Colorado Rockies, I mean, there's still some okay pieces. I actually think, here's my take, and a lot of people might not agree with this. I actually think they're gonna be fine without Arenado offensively. I mean, yeah, like it's a big bat that you're losing, but I think they're going to be able to fill it or plug in the hole. Maybe not like completely, but I think they're going to be able to get some guys. I think Ryan McMahon, having him, I think that's going to be good. I mean, this is a guy where just a couple of years ago, I was saying last offseason, if the Rockies traded Nolan Arenado, they had Ryan McMahon who could play third, or you could have him play second, or you could have just had him move over to third too. So. But Ryan McMahon a couple of years ago was pretty good. Had the 24 home runs, the 83 RBIs. Not really too much last year. I mean, whatever. So we'll have to see if he can bounce back this year. You still got Trevor Story. This is a guy, trade deadline. I mean, what's going to happen? I mean, right now, there's not a lot of teams that really need a shortstop. That's the only problem with Trevor Story is I think teams would like to have him, but there's a lot of teams that don't really need him. So I think trade deadline, hey, look out. If a shortstop goes down somewhere, maybe they could bring in Story for a rental. We'll have to wait and see. Or maybe a team that could maybe sign him long term. Taking a look, I mean, you got guys like Charlie Blackmon there too. You got Brendan Story as well. Why do they not have Brendan Story here? What's the latest or not Brendan? What am I saying? Brendan Story. Brendan Rodgers. So Rockies. I don't believe he's still considered a prospect, is he? Taking a look. Okay, so he's still not considered a prospect. Kind of like Gavin Lux, where his name's been kind of around. Okay, so they have him as on the injury list right now. He has a strained hamstring as of last week. So is there any news on Brendan Rodgers? Rockies. So what's the latest with Brendan Rodgers? So he's going to miss a month. Oh, he's going to miss a month. Oh, brother. Oh, that's terrible. Well, they're going to have to figure that out, I guess. But Brendan Rodgers, he's not going to be available for a little bit. He's definitely not going to be ready for opening day. So that's just another bad note for this team. You got some, CJ Cron, power potential. Charlie Blackmon, I mean, this lineup is just kind of whatever. I mean, there's not really much going on. You got some power. The make or break with this team, it's going to be the pitching. I actually like that they brought in a guy like an Austin Gomber. I think this guy could end up fitting in pretty well over in Coors. He has a good slider. I think Austin Gomber could end up being a pretty decent piece. He came back in the Nolan Arenado trade. So let's take a look at Austin Gomber, how he's doing so far. I did a video on Austin Gomber a few weeks ago, but in this spring training so far, how's he doing? Okay, so he's doing okay this spring. He has 5 starts, 3.78 ERA, 8 strikeouts per 9. So Austin Gomber's doing pretty good with the Rockies so far. So that's definitely going to be a lift. That's what I was saying, like with Nolan Arenado. This team wasn't really going to get anywhere because they didn't have any pitching. So at least, getting rid of him, you were able to bring back a decent arm in Austin Gomber. He's only 27 years old. You got German Marquez, I think one of the more underrated arms in the game. You still got John Gray. I mean, John Gray, is a weird case where John Gray, in 2019, he's kind of like up and down. 2017, he was good. 2018, he was bad. 2019, he was good. And then 2020, he was bad. So I don't know. John Gray is just like a wild card to me. I mean, he had a bad season last year. He could be due for a good season this year. I love Daniel Bard. As a Red Sox fan, I'll always love Daniel Bard. It's so nice to see him back in the game. Scott Oberg is still there. You got a Michael Givens there. I mean, there's not a lot in this bullpen. I don't know. Could you maybe see this team be like a surprise? And they got Kyle Freeland too, but he has a shoulder injury right now. So what is the latest on Kyle Freeland? Okay, so so this was yesterday. So he's out with a strained shoulder. Is there any news on when he could be coming back? The Colorado Rockies were fearing the worst when left-hander Kyle Freeland bent down after tossing a pitch in an exhibition game and grabbed his shoulder. So, is there anything on this? So, no further damage was in his shoulder when he got the MRI. So he's going to be out for a month. So, I don't know. I guess it just seems like the way this team is going, I think this is just going to be a down year for this Rockies team. I think this is going to be like a retool kind of a year. I would imagine maybe Story is going to get traded at some point. I think that would be the best thing for this franchise. Get some more prospects back. I don't see a lot with this Rockies team. I could definitely see this team finishing last place, but I still think, could you maybe see Daniel Bard get traded too? I don't know. That's really interesting because if this is a guy who's having a good year, could you maybe see him go somewhere? That's for me, seeing Daniel Bard just simply pitching, just pitching at all is good, but pitching well, that's even better. So I don't know, do you go to another team? Is he going to be okay to, pitch on another team? I would imagine. He was away from the game for 7 years. So hopefully he's kind of figured everything out mechanically and he's still good to go. But could you see a Daniel Bard on another team down the stretch? I think this Rockies team, they could make some trades. Definitely a Trevor Story. So I have to wait and see. Where do you guys think the Rockies are going to be finishing? Let me know in the chat before I move on to the last team of the night. Where do you guys see the Rockies finishing? Let's see. Hey, Boston Ted Sox. Could maybe Daniel Bard come back to Boston? I don't know. So yeah, Paul, the last place finish. I'm guessing a lot of you are thinking a last place finish for the Rockies. Yep. Boston Ted Sox, last place. Michael Yench, 5th place with 48 wins. Oh, my. Rocky Adams, dead last. It's kind of Chris Rodriguez, the biggest Rockies fan I know, is thinking a last place finish may challenge for the worst in the league. Hey, if they get why not just be the worst team in the league? Then you get the first overall pick in the draft. I'd be all about that. So, I'm interested to see if Trevor Story goes anywhere. That's where I'm going to be paying attention to that. I think this is a guy that definitely could help a team out. So, going to have to wait and see. But all right, everyone, I saved one of the most exciting teams this past offseason, one of the most exciting offseasons for a team in recent memory. I saved them for last. Michael Yench, he is excited. We're going to talk the San Diego Padres. The San Diego Padres, I saved for last because you know what? While the Dodgers, they may have brought in a Trevor Bauer, the San Diego Padres had close to a perfect offseason as you could possibly have. The San Diego Padres team, if there's one team that it could unseat the Dodgers for this division, the Dodgers have won this division for years now. If there's one team that could do it to unseat them, it is this San Diego Padres team. As fun as it is to look at that Los Angeles Dodgers team, this team is just as fun to look at. When you go take a look, we're going to start right off. Let's just go to the offseason moves. Let's just do a quick recap. So here are the additions that they brought in. A lot of additions. So the big ones, all trades. The big ones were the trades. You brought in a Blake Snell and a Yu Darvish on back-to-back days. Back-to-back days, we had Yu Darvish, and then all of a sudden Blake Snell got traded. And then, or was it the other way around? I can't remember. But either way, they were back-to-back nights. That was crazy. It was right around, what was that? Right around Thanksgiving time, I believe. So, you had, was that Thanksgiving? I don't remember. Anyway, it was around that time. But then he brought in a Joe Musgrove, too. Good grief. But then they also brought in some good free agents, too. A Mark Melancon they brought in. You brought in a Ha-Sung Kim from the KBO, the best player in the KBO. You brought in a Keone Kela. there's they need a lot of good moves. A lot of good moves. Taking a look at the team. Taking a look, I mean, this lineup is really good. Trent Grisham, I think, is just going to keep getting better. Fernando Tatis Jr., they signed long-term. He had a bit of something going on. What was going on with him? Was it a shoulder the other day? But I believe he hit a home run the other day. Yeah, he had a shoulder scare, but then he came back and hit a home run, so he's looking pretty good. Fernando Tatis Jr., could he be an MVP candidate this year in the National League? We'll have to wait and see. Manny Machado came in on a big contract a couple of years ago. He looked really good last year. Eric Hosmer, if they can just have Eric Hosmer hit, 20, 25 home runs, I think that's going to be just completely fine. Tommy Pham, they're going to need a bounce-back season out of Tommy Pham. He came over last year in a trade with the Rays. Did not really do much last year at all. Hit 211, a 312 on base, had a few home runs, but had a few stolen bases too. But they're going to need a more complete effort from a Tommy Pham. Had an incident this past offseason where there was a knife involved. I believe he got stabbed. I mean, Jesus. So hopefully he's good to go. We'll have to wait and see on that. Will Myers had himself a really good season last year. I had him on my fantasy team last year. I picked him up in free agency, and that ended up being a good move. He had a good season last year. 15 home runs, the 40 RBIs, 288, 353, 606 slugging. He was awesome last year. I mean, that was easily his best year, I think, with the Padres. I mean, that was his best on base. That was his best batting average. That was his best slugging. So that was definitely his best year overall. And then Jake Cronenworth, a Rookie of the Year candidate, just missed out. I mean, Devin Williams just completely took over down the stretch. And then you got Victor Caratini as well that he brought in with Yu Darvish as well. But they have Austin Nola. Oh, he fractured his finger. Oh, how long is Austin Nola going to be out? So he's progressing toward batting practice as of a couple days ago. Fractured fingers, man. You got to watch out for those. So Austin Nola, he is on the DL right now. But this lineup is very good. I mean, even on the bench, like I said, you brought in Ha-Sung Kim. That's going to be a good player to have off the bench. You brought back Jerickson Profar. You got Luis Campusano there too. So it's going to be interesting who's going to be the starter. I would imagine, I don't know, are they saying who's going to be the starter for opening day? Because I would imagine it's not going to be Austin Nola. So what was the news here? So CBS Sports a couple of days ago. So he's not expected to be ready for opening day. So who's the Padres opening day catcher? I'm not seeing anything. And what did the San Diego Union Tribune? Are they just going to have Caratini start? Or are they going to have Luis Campusano start? So Rocky Adams is going to be Campusano. I'm say, hey, why not? Go with the young guy. And then have, because Caratini is for Darvish. So, but yeah, so looking like maybe Luis Campusano could be the starter. Taking a look at elsewhere on this team, let's get to the starting pitching. I mean, you brought in Yu Darvish. Now, here's the thing with Yu Darvish. I think Darvish, that Central Division, I've mentioned this a couple of times. That Central Division last year was just weak overall. I mean, you had Bauer had just a completely stupid season last year. Darvish was also in that Central Division, and he had, some pretty funny numbers too. I am interested to see what. Oh, we got another super chat coming in. Michael Yanch, Darvish on the mound Thursday. You got to be excited for that. That's gonna be a fun day for Padres fans, man. So, Yu Darvish. Here's the thing with Darvish, is with the Cubs in 2019, a 3.98 ERA, the 4.18 FIP. These numbers were just dumb. a 2.01 ERA, a 2.23 FIP. I don't think he's going to have numbers like that, especially, with teams like the Dodgers that you're going to be going up against a lot. There weren't a lot of good offensive teams last year in the Central, both the American League and the National League, but the strikeout numbers were still consistent with his career norms. The walks were better. The home runs were better. So I think Darvish is going to be pretty good. I'd say the Zips projections, I actually think that looks all right. And even Steamer as well, like anywhere like a mid-3 ERA. I mean, either way, Darvish is going to be great to have at the top of this rotation. But then Blake Snell, too. Blake Snell, a great pickup, man. Great pickup. Just won a Cy Young a couple of years ago. He was great last year. Pitching in the World Series last year, got pulled too soon, if you ask me. 11 games started last year, over 11 strikeouts per 9, about 3 walks per 9. ERA was good. FIP was actually a little higher, but I think overall it was a great pickup for them. Joe Musgrove. I think Joe Musgrove is very underrated. Really like Joe Musgrove a lot. The ERA last year was pretty solid. FIP was solid. The strikeout numbers completely jumped last year. The walks did go up a little bit. I mean, a 1-5 record, but the guy, whatever, wins and losses when you're on a losing team, that's not really going to matter all that much. The guy put up some good numbers overall. I think this Padres, man, I mean, you're not going to have Mike Clevinger. They did the best that they possibly could, losing a Mike Clevinger. So imagine this team next year. It's going to be pretty good. So, and then you got Chris Paddock. They're going to need a bounce back year from Chris Paddock. This year, this guy had a really down year last year after having a really good rookie season. Take a look at his rookie season. Really good numbers. About 10 strikeouts per 9, under 2 walks per 9, about 1.5 home runs per 9, ERA in the low 3s, FIP below a 4. The numbers jumped up last year. FIP above a 5, ERA close to a 5. The strikeouts were down. He was giving up more home runs. So Chris Paddock, if he can bounce back, that's going to be a huge boost for this rotation. And then you got Morahan at the back end. I like the bullpen. Drew Pomeranz, if he can stay healthy. Emilio Pagan is good. Mark Melancon is good. You brought in a Keone Kela. There's a lot of upside there. You got some other guys like Altavilla and Craig Stammen, Tim Hill as well. This Padres team is really good. What else is there to say? I mean, there's a lot to like about this Padres team. Is it going to be enough? Is it going to be enough to win this National League West? As of right now, I'm leaning towards no. For me personally, I think this team absolutely has I think they're going to get one of the wild cards. Right now, I think the Padres are going to be in the wild card game. I think this Padres team, what this Dodgers-Padres rivalry gives me reminders of, it reminds me of the Red Sox and Yankees back in 2004, where that Yankees team was really good, and then the Red Sox were just right behind them, and they made some moves in the offseason that year to try and pick up the pace towards the Yankees. And the Yankees just finished a little ahead of the Red Sox in 2004 in that division. And hey, we all know how 2004 went. The Red Sox, ended up winning a World Series that year. Could the Padres be that Red Sox team from 2004? That they're giving me those vibes where this Dodgers team, they just look unstoppable almost. But then you look at that Yankees team from 2004. They were, I mean, goodness gracious, that was like a murderer's row lineup. You had Jeter, A-Rod, Sheffield in that lineup. I mean, that lineup was dumb. But the only problem with that Yankees team back then, their pitching was not that strong. This Dodgers team this year has really good pitching. So, but I think this Padres team is going to be really good. I think if the Padres run into the Dodgers in a 5-game series in the division round, I think that's anyone's game. That's anyone's series. That could go either way. So I have to wait and see. Where do you guys see the Padres finishing this year? Tell me in the chat. Do you see them winning this division? Do you see them finishing second? Do you think they end up just being a complete bust of a team and finishing maybe third or lower? Let me know what you guys think. I wonder if Josh Hader would be the difference maker for the Padres or the Dodgers. Rocky Adams, I was wondering that in the offseason, but then the Brewers, they started making a couple of moves. I think Josh Hader is going to end up staying with the Brewers. I think he's going to end up staying. So Rocky Adams, second place. Boston Red Sox, second place. Wesley Chad Larks, first place finish. Michael Yench, first place, 106 wins. Chad Miller's thinking a Dodgers bust. Chester's thinking second place for the Padres. So, yeah, Andrew Lee. What's going on, Andrew Lee? Second place finish. Right now, I feel like I'm leaning towards Dodgers winning that division personally. Padres finishing second. Hey, you never know. You never know. I mean, I got to sleep on it still. Could I maybe change my mind? Maybe have the Padres win that division. But either way, no matter how this division goes, this is going to be a really fun division to watch. Dodgers Padres could end up being some of the best baseball we have seen in a long time. This Dodgers Padres like little rivalry here, I mean, historically it's not, like a Dodgers Giants, but man, this Dodgers Padres, this, I don't know why, I guess gives me Red Sox Yankees vibes just based off of how competitive these teams are. It's going to be fun to watch. So, everyone, that's all I got. That wraps up the division previews for 2021. It has been fun talking about all these teams. If you have not seen any of the division previews up to this point, go back, go watch them. Whatever. Go do what you got to do. Maybe tomorrow morning while you're eating some breakfast, you can listen to one of these previews. Rocky Adams, appreciate this channel. Vladdy hit another home run today. Rocky Adams, I appreciate you being here, my friend. Thank you for coming out all the time. You are awesome. Vlad Jr., man, I think we're going to see a good year out of Vlad Jr. So he came into this year in good shape. I think he's going to have himself a good year. So, but yes, if you have not seen any of the division previews, hey, go watch him tonight. Go wake up in the morning. Go do whatever you got to do. You can listen to it in the background or whatever. So I also talked to the National League East with Jolly Olive. That was a fun conversation the other day. So check that out if you haven't seen it. But everyone, that's all I got for tonight. I will be back next week for predictions. I'm excited for predictions. I can't wait for everyone to tell me how bad and stupid my predictions are. I can't wait. I'm excited for baseball, everyone. Opening day is next week. Man, I can't wait. I can't wait. Oh, speaking of opening day, I didn't even mention this. I took off work next week for opening day. So I'm most likely going to be streaming next week a couple of times throughout the day because we got some day games on. So I'm probably going to be here hanging out, watching some baseball. I'm not working that day. I took off. So opening day next week, be here. Be ready to watch some baseball for opening day next week. I'm going to be just kind of hanging out. I'm going to be kind of flipping through some games. I'm going to get MLB TV. I'm not going to broadcast any games because obviously I can't do that. But be here next week. Chester, no, man. We are not doing the hair reveal until 10K. 10K subscribers, and I'll do it. So, but yeah, opening day next Thursday, I will be here. I will be watching some baseball. I might end up doing a couple of streams. I might maybe do a nighttime stream as well, but along with a daytime stream. So expect a hair removal. Absolutely not. I am too pale to be bald, my friend. So opening day next week, I will be here, not working that day. I took off just for you guys, just so we can watch some baseball together. Before I get out of here, again, if you are new, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 7K. We're not going to be able to get there by opening day, but could we get to 7K by the All-Star break? Could we do it? I hope we can. I'm hoping we can get to 10K by the end of the season. I think it's possible. So, but everyone, like the stream for me. If you have not yet liked the stream, it's going to really help get it out to more baseball fans. Go follow me on Twitter if you want to talk some baseball throughout the day. And everyone, that is all I got for tonight. Thank you so much for coming out. Hope you all have a great rest of your Friday night. Have a great weekend. And I will see you Monday or Tuesday. I'm hoping for Monday. That's probably Monday is going to be the night. So, alrighty. I will talk to you next time.